Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today's card I'm sharing is what I'm going to call a simple eclipse technique. There's a lot out there with spelling out words using the large letter dies, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a punch on this card, and we're featuring the cat punch for this particular technique. So I'm going to start with some scrap paper on my work surface and a piece of white cardstock, and I'm using the Painted Harvest stamp set. I just love this. It carried over from the holiday catalogue, and it's been really popular. And I'm going to be using a selection of the purple shades that Stampin' Up does. And this stamp set is photopolymer, and we're going to do basically triple step stamping. And so on the large one, I'm going to use the palest color, and then a darker color, and then this one is darker still. So I am going to start with my Wisteria Wonder and the largest stamp, and I only want to put the image on one corner, and I'm going to choose the bottom left, and I'm going to start with like that, press firmly, and then I'm going to move on to the next stamp with the next darker shade, which is Perfect Plum. I'm just going to kind of line it up. I'm not looking for perfect. And then my final shade is Elegant Eggplant, and I'm going to use the center to fill that gap in. And I've built up my colors there. And then the stamp set also has got this lovely little stamp that has 5 little dots, and I'm going to use Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp it once in full ink, and then I'm going to stamp it off again without re-inking. Stamp off, and I just want to put a couple of extra features for the cat. Oh, and then I'm going to put some leaves in there. So this leaf is from the same stamp set, and once again I'm going to stamp off because I want a paler color, and I'm just going to bring in a little bit of leaf here just to finish off my piece. Now I also have decorated the front layer of the card using the same technique, and inside as well as the envelope, and I've pre-stamped the pieces for my videos rather than you sitting and watching me do the same thing over and over again. So I have my envelope, and then I have my card base and my pre-stamped pieces here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out the cat, and you can slot it in to the punch and you can maneuver it around. Alternatively, you can get yourself a piece of scrap card and a tiny little bit of the snail, and attach it to the corner of your card like that, and then you can put your piece in there and just kind of line it up, and then punch it out, and then that just gives you something to maneuver with, and then you'll just be able to pull that and set it to one side. So there's my pieces, and you can leave the cat without any features, or if you want you can go ahead, and I'm just using a Wisteria Wonder marker pen and I'm just gonna give him a little smiley face. Then I'm going to take my next layer, which is Perfect Plum, and I'm trying to recall the measurements, but it'll be on my blog and the link will be below my video. And I'm going to use some adhesive to attach that to that layer. Put a little bit of, make sure I put some adhesive down where we've got that little bit from his tail or her tail. And then I'm just going to attach it to my layer like that. And part of the reason that I wanted to make sure that my flower was in the corner and I had some space up here is that it'll help the cat pop out when I come to put him on. So next thing I'm going to do is take some of the mini glue dots and flip over the cat and just layer some some dimensionals, not mini glue dots, I apologize, like that. And then I'm going to take a tiny little sliver like that, and I'm just going to run it up his tail there so that it doesn't sag when we put it on the card. There we go, like that. And then just take the back off of the dimensionals, press them down a bit firmly, and we're just going to line him up with the aperture that was left. Oh, come on, down you go. There we go, like that, and just put his tail into place. So he's just standing, it's a little bit proud of the card. And I'm going to put some full-size dimensionals on the back. And then that's ready to go on the card in a moment. So my base card is Elegant Eggplant, and it's 11 by 4 1/4 scored in half. And I'm just going to use my bone folder here. And then I have 2 layers. This is my inside layer because that darker shade isn't really work for when you want to write on it. And you can see I've already done my stamping. And then pop it in like that. Lovely. And then my front piece, I'm going to use some linen thread around there. I think the stamp set is called Painted Harvest, and linen thread to me brings in sort of the rustic, continued rustic theme. Ooh. Just going to tie a single knot in there, but it's not behaving. There we go. And then just trim off the ends. And if you have the patience to put a bow on, you can put a bow on at this stage. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got my twine. I don't want it layered sort of side by side. I like it to be offset like that. And then we're going to do some use the dimensionals again. And on this bigger piece of card I'm going to put one in the middle and take the backing off. And if you struggle with getting the backing, if you put your nail in, it kind of makes the edges curl and it's easier to pull off. And then I'm just gonna line it up so it's pretty much centered, and then take my little pussycat and just roughly position him where I think he's going to work. And then I've got my envelope, and there we are. So there's a simple and quick eclipse technique. I hope you enjoyed this one, and the link is to my blog with the dimensions are going to be beneath this video. There'll also be a link to my online store where you can get supplies if you wish. Thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.